It even sounds strange to believe that there are fruits and veggies in the wild or even in your backyard with the potential to knock you out for life. Now don't panic, we're not trying to say that the world is out to get you. But did you know that out of the 2,000 different fruit varieties in the world, a large percentage are packed with harmful toxins that could be the death of you? Well, you better sit tight and watch this video because this one will blow your mind. Number 1. Yellow star fruit. Of course it looks pretty, and you're probably wondering, how can a pretty star-shaped fruit like this ever hurt anybody? Well, you're about to find out. The yellow star fruit, also known as carambola, is as visually appealing as it is unique in taste. But a pretty face like that can have the potential to cause very serious health hazards. First things first, let's talk about the good stuff. For most people, consuming yellow star fruit in moderation is perfectly safe and even beneficial. Packed with vitamins, antioxidants, and dietary fiber, this tangy fruit can be a delightful addition to a well-balanced diet. Its juicy sweetness can also refresh your taste buds on a hot summer day, which makes it a popular choice in many tropical regions. However, the yellow star fruit carries a dark secret that can be treacherous for some individuals, particularly those with kidney problems. You see, the danger of this fruit lies in its composition. It contains oxalic acid and a potent neurotoxin called caramboxin. For most people with healthy kidneys, these compounds are filtered out harmlessly by the body. But for those with kidney impairment or chronic kidney disease, trouble arises when the body struggles to eliminate these toxins effectively. The result? A buildup of harmful substances that can wreak havoc on the nervous system. In more severe cases, it can lead to neurological symptoms such as seizures, agitation, and even loss of consciousness. Imagine going from enjoying a tasty treat to a full-blown medical emergency. Such a chilling thought! So if you have a health history of kidney problems, it's best to steer clear of this pretty face altogether, as even small amounts can prove dangerous. Number 2. Elderberries. These tiny, dark purple gems have garnered quite a reputation in recent years for their potential immune-boosting properties. But while they may seem enticing, there's a catch to these berries that you should know about. Elderberries come from the elder tree, and they have a long history of traditional medicinal use in various cultures. People often use elderberries to make syrups, teas, and even wine, believing that they can help fend off colds and flu. And you know what? They might actually have some immune-boosting benefits due to their rich content of vitamins, antioxidants, and flavonoids. But before you rush to pick a bunch of elderberries for your next flu-fighting concoction, hold on a second. There's a potential dark side to these berries. They contain compounds called cyanogenic glycosides, which under certain circumstances can become cyanide. Yes, cyanide, the toxic stuff. Now, before you start panicking, let me explain. The cyanogenic glycosides in elderberries are usually present in small amounts, and for most healthy adults, consuming a few ripe berries won't do any harm. But the real trouble arises when you ingest a significant quantity of raw or undercooked elderberries. Those cyanogenic glycosides accumulate in your system and can lead to cyanide poisoning, which has some nasty symptoms like dizziness, nausea, and even shortness of breath. Thankfully, this can be avoided with proper preparation, which kills off the harmful compounds and by purchasing the ripe ones only. Number 3. Rhubarb. Rhubarb, with its bright red stalks, is a unique vegetable that often finds its way into scrumptious desserts like pies, crumbles, and jams. But did you know that it has a dark side that you must be cautious about? First of all, let's get to know about this vegetable a bit better. Rhubarb is a perennial plant with a long history of cultivation and consumption, dating back to ancient China and used medicinally in traditional Chinese medicine. However, its use in desserts didn't become popular until much later. Now, here comes the plot twist. While the stalks of rhubarb are entirely safe to eat, the leaves are a whole different story. They contain high levels of oxalic acid. In fact, the leaves contain such concentrated amounts of oxalic acid that a mere nibble can lead to poisoning. And the symptoms are pretty alarming. If someone ingests even a small amount of the leaves, they may experience abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. In severe cases, oxalic acid can interfere with calcium absorption, leading to potential kidney damage and, in extreme situations, even kidney failure. But the good news is that cases of rhubarb poisoning are relatively rare because the leaves have an intensely sharp and bitter taste that acts as a natural deterrent to most creatures, including humans. In other words, you'd have to be pretty desperate or downright ignorant to consider eating them. Number 4. Manchineal. Now let's dive deeper into one of the most menacing and treacherous plants on the planet, the Manchineal tree. With its nickname, the Tree of Death, you know we're about to explore something truly dangerous. The Manchineal tree hails from tropical regions of North and South America. predominantly found in the Caribbean and Florida's coastal areas. At first glance, it looks unassuming and resembles an ordinary beachside tree, but there's more to it. Every part of the Manchineal tree is a potential hazard. The sap, leaves, bark, and fruit are all packed with highly toxic compounds like phorbol and phorbol esters, and even mere contact with the tree can lead to skin irritation, blistering, and burning. But the real danger, however, lies in the small green fruit that dangles from the branches. Consuming its fruit can lead to a terrifying array of hazards, including severe gastrointestinal issues, vomiting, convulsions, and even coma or death. Now, you might be wondering, why should such a toxic tree exist in the first place? Well, as fascinating as it is deadly, the Manchineal's tree's dark reputation has woven its way into history and folklore. Pirates of old used its sap to craft lethal arrows, and some tales even suggest it was the tree Eve plucked from in the Garden of Eden. But of course, take these stories with a grain of salt. They're more legend than verified history. Number 5. Ackee Fruit. This tropical fruit hails from West Africa and has become an integral part of Caribbean cuisine, and of course the national fruit of Jamaica. However, before you indulge in a plate of ackee and saltfish, there are some essential things you should know to savor this delicacy safely. Ackee can be dangerous if not handled properly, and unlike ripe ones, unripe ackee contains a toxic compound called hypoglycin, which, if consumed in large quantities, can lead to a condition known as Jamaican vomiting sickness. Now, the symptoms of this sickness sound like anything but a day at the beach. They include severe vomiting, hypoglycemia, and in extreme cases, death. But before you swear off ackee entirely, there's a silver lining. Ripe ackee is relatively safe to eat. When ackee ripens naturally on the tree, its hypoglycin levels decrease significantly, making it safe for consumption. So, how can you tell if ackee is ripe? Look for the distinct color change from bright red to a soft pinkish hue, and make sure the pods have naturally split open. Once the ackee pods have opened on their own, it's a good indication that they're safe to eat. Number 6. Cassava. The humble root vegetable has been a staple food for many cultures around the world, especially in Africa, Asia, and South America. But hold on! We'll also unveil the potential dangers it poses if not handled properly. Cyanogenic glycosides are natural compounds found in many plants, and cassava is no exception. The issue arises because these compounds can be converted into cyanide when ingested. Yikes! Now let's talk about the safety measures. Fortunately, cassava isn't deadly when properly prepared. First, you'd want to start by peeling off the cassava roots. Grate and chop them into smaller pieces, soak them for up to 12 hours, and then thoroughly cook them, either by boiling, baking, or frying. That way, you're sure that you are consuming a safe and delicious meal. Number 7. Oakberry. This fruit looks a lot like grapes, but it certainly packs a punch when it comes to its potentially deadly nature. It's native to North America and is a fascinating plant with tall, vibrant stems and deep purple berries that look deceptively delicious. In fact, its appearance could tempt even the most cautious of adventurers. But don't be fooled. Those seemingly juicy berries hide a deadly tale. You see, the pokeberry plant contains alkaloids and a particularly nasty compound called phytolactotoxin. The danger lies in the unripe berries. When the pokeberries are still green and immature, they contain a higher concentration of these toxic compounds, and ingesting them can lead to a range of unpleasant symptoms, such as nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. In severe cases, the poisoning can escalate to respiratory failure, and that's when things get truly perilous. So it's very important to avoid this potential pitfall, and the only way to do this is to consume only ripe pokeberries. When they ripen and turn a dark, rich purple color, their toxic content decreases significantly. But remember, significantly doesn't always mean safe to munch on without caution. It merely means that the risk of poisoning is substantially lower. And there you have it, guys. Some of the fruits and veggies to look out for and treat with caution. In a nutshell, stay safe and savvy when it comes to some fruity adventures. Because while most of these natural delights are fantastic for your health, it's crucial to watch out for their deadly bits.